G'day fans, air conditioners and other cool units. The author David Applegate here with a special update on Brie Larson. Now, Brie, as you know, or should at least have some inkling, is a Hollywood actress who's had a long-running dispute with fans of the MCU about her portrayal of Captain Marvel, her nasty comments about fans about her portrayal of Captain Marvel, and there has been widespread rumour making the rounds that studio, due to concerns about Brie Larson's off-screen performance and diminishing box office returns, her value is decreasing rapidly, that she may be out of the MCU. This has been reported by many outlets. We got this covered as spreading the rumour every few days, but they're not the only one. Now, of course, for the last month, outlets have been trying to prop up Brie, even though she's pretty much got nothing going on, which is pretty strange. Although the Marvel Cinematic Universe is in trouble, and a lot of media outlets are speculating on the future of the MCU after the mysterious, not so mysterious, that the ambitious Phase 4 that was going to put out 4 projects a year has reduced its number of movies, reduced the number of its TV shows, and its showrunners have done nothing but accuse the fans of being toxic. And it's all stemming from Brie Larson, who loves to snip from the sidelines, along with many other toxic people who realize that toxicity is a marketing tool. Call the fans toxic, and you have the mainstream media rushing to your defense with puff pieces on the fact that at Disney's D23 Expo, she seemed to be unsure whether or not she's playing Captain Marvel in the MCU after the fact that everybody is fawning over Miss Marvel and Captain Chavez, or America Chavez, or whatever she's going to be in the next movie, because there's rumours that they're rebranding that character too. Not getting rid of the actress, but there was rumours that Brie Larson was going to be third banana in her own movie. And it's bad enough being second banana in your own movie, just ask the Three Stooges. Never be the third banana, right? Or the Marx Brothers. They all had their day in the sun, and now the MCU had its day in the sun. And as you know, when the media is telling you what a great person you are, they're really sticking the knives in, because if you have to tell the world that somebody's a great person, you know they're not, right? Good people don't need the media. Their actions speak for themselves. Their careers shine on their own. Brie, as you know, plays a powerful character, and in real life, she acts as if she's a powerful character. I know how hard it is to write powerful characters. They're difficult because people have to respond to powerful characters as if they're Mary Sue, while at the same time, you never know who doesn't like you in reality. Whereas Brie knows that people did not respond well to Captain Marvel. Nothing new. It's a failed comic. People were sold that Captain Marvel was the future of MCU and the key to Marvel Endgame. People fell for the trap. Black Panther was going to be this all-powerful movie. And it devolved into a punching match at the end. No No, there was no new technology, none of the Wakanda that we were promised. No. It was all about punching. There were no grand debates, no advanced civilization. No. It was all monkey paw. If anybody knows the story of the monkey paw, all build up and no ending. It just stops. That's what Wakanda did. Wackadoo, as I call it. Wackadoo Kingdom. That's what the MCU's become. It's not about heroes. None of these people are heroic. They're punching down. They're not fighting to overcome great obstacles. They're punching down. They're the guy who's won the video game and keeps playing. They're the Roman army marching up and down the streets of Paris every year to remind the French for 200 years that they won. That's what Carol Danvers is. How could she be captured? How could they nullify her powers? All these things, people ask serious questions. And if they can nullify her powers so easily, why don't they just do it permanently? Why did they give her just pull it out of her neck? No. Embed that thing in her body so she can't reach in and rip it out. Oh, it's solar powered. She's a battery. Oh, they were, the excuses they make for the MCU. It's sad because if a few writers who aren't big name stars, if within an hour of your movie coming out, people are finding plot holes, ordinary citizens find plot holes in your movie, you aren't going to last long. And if you have to market your movie by coming out and saying, Marvel trolls this, Marvel trolls that, she's an Oscar-winning actor, what would you know? As a writer, I live and die by my fans. Brie should know this. Every creative person should know. Beware of who you step on your way up. And there are lots of people in Hollywood who have Brie's high heels stamped firmly on their backs who are livid. Not at the Marvel trolls, but at the media trolls. They're spreading rumors about her. Every time she goes to a Disney event, she's the third banana. First it was, what was it? After Captain Marvel came out, people were all fawning over Black Widow, asking when Scarlett Johansson was going to get her movie. Then, of course, they promoted her movie. Brie Larson got pushed to the background. She had a very minor role, and a downplayed role at that, and possibly many cut scenes on the cutting room floor. So, that infamous bike scene where she robs a man because he hit on her, and women cheer that. You wonder why there are Marvel trolls. People do not see a superhero as somebody who punishes wrongdoers by stealing from them. This was one of those times where Carol could have used her words instead of bending somebody's arm. But no, people want the power fantasy. But that's starting to worry people. Because people are not mixing this power fantasy with real life. Actresses think that they can speak on every subject and that they're always right. And here I am, a YouTube critic. I live and die by my fans. I don't pander to them. To be a fan of somebody, you have to agree with their ideas, not expect them to agree with your ideas. The MCU has become Stan. The fans aren't toxic. The MCU is Stan. Brie Larson is Stan. They have become their own toxic fan, where they expect them to shine. They're the Disney princess. I get my way because I'm the Disney princess. They do not understand. Be careful of who you step on the way up. The Rock has found this out. They have to bring in Henry Cavill, Brie Larson. They had to bring in big names to pump up Brie Larson, have her tear people down. But people are saying, but the Skrulls are the bad guys. Did you see? This is the problem. When you want to make, Kevin Feige, when you want to make something your own, you can't take other people's work and make it your own. Be careful of who you step on the way up. You're using Stan Lee's fame and 50 years of goodwill to stand on the shoulders of all the people he stood on. Steve Ditko and many others. You're trying to turn a failing industry into a massive multimedia success. And yes, you had success. Had been the key word. But that success came at the cost of, for every dollar you spent on production, you had to spend 1.5 on advertising. You had to buy fans by running competitions. I kid you not, this is dead set rumored that they were buying fans off by offering people packs to go to the premiere, offering competitions for cosplayers. They had people going up and down the crowd of Hollywood Boulevard saying cheer the loudest and we'll focus in on you and all this stuff. Fake it until you make it. Now that they've made it, they're finding that Stan wants his money. Brie all went to her head. I want more money. We'll bring in Captain Marvel. She's cheaper. Yeah, everybody agree? Child exploitation, child labour. Yeah, cheaper than Brie Larson. Yeah, we'll do that. Kevin tried to put his name on everything. What did we have recently? The failure of Blade, giving them a 90-page script, about 200 words a page. That's not much. Script is between 20,000 and 50,000 words of dialogue. Then you've got action, direction, sets, locations, emotional cues. Then you've got the timing. Scripts have to be very precise. And you got costume notes, all these things. A script can go quickly from 200 pages to a really huge book. You got art direction, set direction, choreography, fight scenes. Because it's not a book. They have the choreography, how long that's going to take, and so you have that, and then you tell the director to fill it in. So you give the director homework, give him a year to write a script, and when he comes back, You don't like it, but you gave them an incomplete work, expect them to finish it, and you hire people who don't know the source material. And then you tell them to make it their own, so they don't have to pay somebody else. And you wonder why Disney is getting a bad reputation, why people like Brie Larson are getting a bad reputation. The MCU, by association, is getting a bad reputation. And the media, the Marvel writers, the Marvel writing group, the Marvel comic industry, rage industry, or whatever you want to call it, the Marvel comic book stands, they're all now contributing. And the worst, all the people who are pushing that everything is okay. I get it. $19 billion is a huge sum of money. And some movies may have legitimately made $1 billion. But there are rumors that right before the virus of unspecified origin shut down society for a little while, that Disney's 10-movie run wasn't as successful as they claimed to be. And that within 6 months, Disney was out cap in hand, asking its shareholders to raise $6 billion to cover ongoing expenses. Disney whistleblowers have come out. Now, if you're a writer and you want to fake it till you make it, beware that you can't stop faking it. This is a cautionary tale to beware of who you step on the way up. Because trust me, the Marx Brothers, Lehman Brothers, J.K. Rowling, so many others thought they were top of the world, could do no wrong, everything they wrote was gold. Even Stan Lee. Stan Lee's real legacy is in the prolific amount of work that he produced. Spider-Man was Steve Ditko. Marvel and many other Stan Lee projects were not a huge success. Marvel was successful in the fact that they ran a very tight, cheap ship. So they survived where other comic book companies could not because of the high cost of making a comic book. That's why so many manga weren't colored. It's because of the cost of coloring. And you go out today and you try and find a color book of any comic for under $30. It's usually secondhand, or it's process printed. It's going to be cheap. It's not going to be quality work. You look at some of the quality comics today, they're from third parties. They get them printed overseas. They can't afford it. Their own printers are the success has gone to their head. Comic book pros are doing better work digitally. Entertainment is shifting. Even writing is shifting. You're either going to be an epic with a series, like that's the path I've chosen. That's pretty similar to the MCU, an epic. But every epic has an end. And I'm not saying the MCU is over yet, but I'm saying Brie Larson and many other stans, Mark Ruffalo, your careers are on the way out. People don't like you. Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings was actually a good movie that was spoiled by the stans. And most of those stands were the cast leading the charge that anybody who doesn't like it is bad, is a bad person. So people didn't go. The Eternals was banking on Chinese money, and people said, "There's something. Why are they banking on Chinese money? Why is the Chinese audience who brings in not even 30% of their revenue more important than the people who bring in 70% of the revenue? If we're not important to you, then then we'll find something else." That's what's happened with DC. You give us characters we like, and as soon as we like them, you take them away because we didn't like the other characters. That's what the closing of Phase 4 feels like. So this is only a rumor, but it can become reality because once the studio feels that Brie Larson isn't popular, they're not going to hire her. They want to make money, especially now that they need movies to really make $1 billion without $1 billion in marketing. Remember, they spent $4.5 billion on Star Wars, then they spent another $4 to $10 billion, depending who you ask, on making content to only make $2 or $3 billion profit. And that's after the merch. You think of the MCU, they've made $19 billion. How much is their profit? 7.5%. The studios are banking now on Phase 5 to be longer, leaner, and cost less to make. Bring in more, sorry. So they want to cost less, bring in more, in the middle of an inflationary period. Doesn't that sound... That doesn't sound like a successful franchise to me. Perhaps they are faking it until they make it. I'm not saying they didn't make $19 billion, but I am saying it cost them more than they're letting on. Their profits, that's why their share price is down. That's why nobody's rushing to invest in the MCU. That's why secretly Marvel has been trying to ship comics overseas for printing and production. That's why they quietly dumps dozens of storylines. They didn't think we'd notice. Now, we are going to get Young Avengers, but after 2 more Avengers movies. We are going to get at least 2 more Avengers movies. They are going to be maybe a Thor song, I don't know for certain, but they've fired people. They've openly fired people now. This is what's fueling Brie Larson. The Brie Larson is next. But she's doing the rounds without anything to promote for the MCU. Hoping. Because remember, they don't like you, but they like your money. And the only message you can send to them is not spending it on them. I know a lot of people say, oh, but if we spend money on this, they don't look at how you... When Bob Chapek sits down at his desk, do you think he's bothered going to read which parts of the MCU make the most money? You think he's going to go through all those breakdowns? He's going to turn to people and say, which one of you is doing better than the others? All right, leave the room. I can trust you. Then he's going to rip into the ones who aren't making $1 billion. But the thing is, what the MCU has shown us is that Ant-Man may not make $1 billion, but it's goodwill to the audience that they get what they like. They forget, even with Wakanda, they lost goodwill. They may have picked up a new audience, but they lost others. And then that's why Shang-Chi didn't do well, because the people who like Black Panther don't like Shang-Chi, and the people who don't like Shang-Chi, China actually liked the look of Shang-Chi. It was the fact that Disney had Black Panther. You are never going to please all the people all the time. So please be careful of who you step on the way up, because I tell you what, Brie Larson is in freefall, and it's not, and I don't like it, but it's karma. All I can hope is that people learn from this and don't take fans for granted, and don't become your own fan. Don't become a stan. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you all on the other side.